Hi everyone, my name is Aaron. I am your teacher. I'm an old fat guy. I know it sucks. I apologize for how terrible that is for those of you who wanted some young, svelte, sexy-looking young person to teach your freaking English class. You're stuck with me. Meh. That's the way it is. So, this video is two parts. One's a real brief introduction, and it goes over what's called a four-part essay. The reason why I want to get into the four-part essay right away is I want to break you of the bad habits that you had in the past, which is to fart around with the stupid three-part or five-paragraph essay, the crap they taught you in high school, which, if you didn't know already, is completely stupid and pointless when it gets to college. It just is. You don't need it. Okay, so first things first, introductions. My name is Aaron. I am your English 1101 class teacher. I'm very happy to be here. I love teaching. I am a graduate student at Florida Atlantic University. I am not a professor. I am not some, elite, brain or anything like that. I'm just a student, just like you guys. That's all I do. I'm a student, okay? And in addition to that, I'm an English major, so that means I get to teach English classes, which is great. And my master's degree that I'm working on right now is in poetry. I'm here to study poetry and how to write it, which is exciting. It's what I love doing. In fact, I'm defending my thesis, which I turned in on Friday this semester. I have to work on it some more, but that's okay. So we're all writing here. You're writing stuff, I'm writing stuff. That's what we do. Okay, so here we go. Four-step essay, okay? The four-step essay, so first gotta let you know the reason why the three-step essay or the five-paragraph essay that you learned in high school is not useful. It's not because I hate it, which I do, but that's not the reason. It's like in the 1950s, they decided to say, you know what, high school students, they're only gonna go work in factories, or work on a farm. They don't need to know how to write good essays. They're morons. That's what high schools are for. Smart people, they get private schools. They get private tutors. They get other stuff. Public school kids, meh. They're just going to work for Ford, which is what my ancestors did. Or deliver the mail, which is what my mom's dad did. So they're like, you guys didn't need to write that stuff. So they were like, okay, fine. We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to get back into the habit of writing good essays because that's what you guys need to do. So the first step to writing a good essay is to write the basic good essay. This is for papers that are like 2 to 3 to 4 pages long. It's for shorter papers. It's not for big, 7 to 8 page papers. I'm going to tell you right now, a 7 to 8 page paper for me is a short paper. So first, what you've been done in the past is the three-step essay. It has 3 steps. Basically, you have an introduction paragraph where you stick your thesis in there, and it works like a funnel down into a bunch of little paragraphs where you only have 3, I'm showing 4, but you only have 3 paragraphs to go in there. And then you have a conclusion, which is basically you wrap it all up, tie a little bow on it, and you're finished. All right? Useless. It works for high school because you got to graduate high school with it. I don't know if they use this for the SAT. I never took the SAT. But we're going to eventually work ourselves up to the 6-part essay. And so real quick, here's a cheat. This is the slide for the 6-part essay. It has a lot of good stuff in there. You'll want to read it later, but we're going to move on. And so the introduction. 4-part essay, 4 parts. Introduction, review of literature or definition paragraphs, support paragraphs, and then final is your conclusion. So there you go. Introduction. In this case, in your next essay, is going to be definitions paragraphs, then it's going to be support paragraphs, and then it's going to be your conclusion. Now, the 4-step essay and the 3-step essay are very similar, but you notice what's different, right? Right off the bat, I said you're going to have definition paragraphs, so you're going to have them. Before we get into there, I want to let you know something about an introduction. In my classes and in my own writing habits, my introduction paragraphs have 4 sentences. That's it. I never include anything else. Okay? You don't need anything else. So basically, the 4 sentences are: you need a subject sentence, you need to apply the sentence to yourself, you need your thesis sentence, okay? And then your transition sentence. And I'm going to tell you right now, you don't need a hook. The hook is not going to help you. You're going to jump right into the subject and you're going to tell them what the subject is. In fact, the first word of your paper should be the subject of your paper. Once you have that done, okay, and you've written your introduction, those 4 sentences, immediately you're going to move into, well, we're going to look at the conclusion. So I'm going to jump around. Your conclusion, which actually does more than just wrap up your paper, right? Your conclusion also has to prove your point. So in your conclusion, here's the basic outline for your conclusion. You're going to have the subject sentence again, right? So subject sentence again. Then you're going to review some key terms, which you have to have. You have to have key terms. Right now, I can tell you what they are. Ethos, pathos, those, you're going to read about them. There's 5 of them, but kairos, that kind of stuff. Those are going to be your key terms. You're going to have to define them. Okay, you're going to have to review what the body paragraphs are discussing. You have to go over it. Then you have to review and reword your thesis sentence, because you're basically saying this is what this paper was trying to do. And then you have to prove what the paper actually did. Saying, well, this is what we were trying to say, and this is what we said, and this is because that was true, because the thesis is true. This is the conclusion, okay? I'll teach you how to write a good thesis story. And then you have to apply the conclusion to yourself. And then last, you have to apply your conclusion to the world at large, meaning the rest of the FAU students at FAU. That's it. All right, pretty simple. Those are the key steps, the 7 steps right there you have to do in your conclusion. Now, don't worry, I'm going to give you guys an outline that you're going to have to follow. You're going to have to learn how to write outlines as we go through this semester. And so this is some of the basic steps right off the top. Now, the review of literature or the definitions paragraphs, okay? The point of this is where you're defining the subject of your paper in the clearest terms. In this paper, you're going to read a certain paper. I'm going to show it to you later. And instead of talking about the subject of that paper, you're going to discuss how that person wrote the paper. Right. We're going to use some rhetoric terms. Like I said, logos, we're going to use some kairos, some pathos, stuff like that. We're going to discuss all those terms and where they work. And then this is a great place for you to do a little bit of outside research to define the central ideas, stuff like that. In this first paper, not so much research, but a little bit. So your first essay, you need to have 2 of these kind of definition paragraphs. The review of literature type paragraphs, they could do a lot of things. They could summarize a paper that you were reviewing. It could summarize a theory. It could do a lot of stuff. But in this case, you're going to be defining terms that are useful for you to explain what you believe such and such an author is trying to say in their essay. Like I said, I'll introduce the subject matter later. And then the last slide right here is the 4 steps, okay? So the 4 steps in a 4-part essay is very simple. You got introduction, definition paragraphs, support paragraphs, and the conclusion. Now, the Latin names, I'm going to tell you this now. You don't need to know them for later, but it's good to hear them at least once, right? I needed to know them. It's good to know. So, exordium is the introduction, okay? Narratio is the review of literature or the definition paragraphs. Okay, the confirmatio, that is the support paragraphs, and the peroratio is the conclusion. These Latin terms were used when people were beginning to recognize how to write essays and how to give good political or religious speeches. And it's a very important part of how the rhetoric works. Now, you guys are going to learn how to write essays correctly. In the form of essays we're going to be using, not only is it ancient, several thousand years old, it's the one that works. It's the one that works. It's the one we use today. It's the one I use in grad school. The 4-part essay, if I have to write a short 3 to 4 page paper, this is what I use. Okay? This exact model. I'm not fooling around with anything else, and I'm definitely not writing that bull crap that they taught us in high school. All right. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. I hope you guys had a great Christmas break. I will see you in class. Have fun. Bye.